Hi, in this video I'm going to walk through how I converted the given invoice table into a normalized set of tables in a final ERD. Oops, sorry. I'll start with the original table. It's a flat, unnormalized structure that mixes together invoice details, product details, and vendor details all in one place. Looking at the sample data, I noticed that the number 211347 appears 3 times. Each with a different product number. That told me a single invoice can contain multiple products, so no single column can uniquely identify a row on its own. So the first thing I had to do was figure out the primary key. Since each row represents one product sold on one invoice, the natural primary key is the composite of inv_num and prod_num together. Uh, Once I had that, I worked out the functional dependencies. Quant_sold needs both inv_num and prod_num to make sense. You can't say how many were sold without knowing which product and which invoice. So it's a full dependency on the whole key. But some attributes only depend on part of the key. Sale date only depends on inv_num because the date belongs to the invoice, not the product. And prod label, prod price, and vend code only depend on prod_num. Those are properties of the product itself. Those are partial dependencies and they violate second normal form. I also spotted a transitive dependency. Vend name depends on vend code, not directly on the primary key. Since vend code isn't a key attribute, this violates third normal form. To fix the partial dependencies, I split the table into three. An invoice table holding just inv_num and sale_date, a product table holding prod_num, prod label, prod price, and vend code, and an invoice line table which holds inv_num, prod_num, and quant sold, which links the other two together. Then to remove the transitive dependency in product, I pulled vend code and vend name out in their own vendor table, leaving vend code behind in product as a foreign key. That gave me 4 tables in a third normal form: invoice, product, vendor, and invoice line, as seen above. From there, converting to an ERD was mostly about deciding on relationships and cardinality, since dependency diagrams don't actually show whether a relationship is a one-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-many. I made a few assumptions here. First, the business rules state a product is supplied by exactly one vendor, but a vendor can supply many products. So vendor to product is a one-to-many relationship. Second, I assumed an invoice can list multiple products and the same product can appear on multiple different lines of the invoice or different invoices, which makes invoice and product a many-to-many relationship at heart. That's exactly why invoice line exists. It's the associative entity that resolves that many-to-many into two one-to-many relationships: one invoice to many invoice lines and one product to many invoice lines. I also assumed prod price is the product's standard list price rather than a price that varies per sale, since the sample data only ever shows one price per product. And I left customer information out of the scope entirely, since there's nothing about customers in the given data. So the final ERD has 4 entities: vendor, product, invoice, and invoice line, connected by 3 one-to-many relationships. It's a fairly clean structure, and it's a good example of how normalization can surface a table like invoice line that wasn't obvious in the original flat data, but is essential once you think through the actual dependencies. That's my process, starting from the raw table, identifying the key and its dependencies, normalizing step by step to a third normal form, and then layering relationship cardinalities on top to produce the ERD. Thanks for watching, guys.